Good evening, everyone. I am James Devers, Executive Director of Communities and Schools of Kalamazoo. Welcome to our Champs Celebration, which we are live streaming from the ballroom of the Radisson Plaza Hotel in downtown Kalamazoo. Thank you for joining us this evening. Whether you're in the audience, joining us virtually at home, or at one of the Fifth Third sponsored watch parties throughout the area, we are glad you are here. And just a reminder to those of you watching at home, be sure to get your beverage of choice ready for the virtual toast that we will be doing toward the end of the program. And speaking of programs, many thanks to Maestro, who has supported us by designing our website and printed materials. So please follow along with the program placed at your table or delivered to you by mail or email. While it can probably go without saying, this school year has been unique and wrought with extraordinary challenges. But the beauty of such times is that extraordinary challenges also provide opportunity for extraordinary triumphs. Things that never would have been achieved in normal circumstances are now done. Tonight is a celebration of a few select individuals, but it is also a celebration of the countless triumphs of our students and families, our volunteers, staff members, and educators who saw opportunity in the midst of this pandemic to do more for others and even for themselves. As you may know, CIS is a proven model for reducing dropout rates and increasing graduation rates. The model is one that relies on grown-ups pooling our resources, setting aside our agendas, and working together to benefit kids. The champs that you will meet tonight are change makers. For the past 14 months, they have had to show up a bit differently for our kids. But in doing so and making their presence known, they have sent a powerful message to our kids. The message is, your success is important, and the community cares about you. As students, certainly, but also as potential field people who are worth our investments of time, energy, and resources. So before we begin our awards presentations, we thought that you might want to meet Alea, a student from Kalamazoo Central. Alea met us earlier this month outside of her school to talk about virtual learning, her connection to CIS supports, and what she is most excited about for her upcoming senior year. Joining her as her interviewer is our success coach, Brendan Groggle, who might actually be answering a few questions of his own.
I am Alea Hunter. I am a junior this year at Kalamazoo Central, and my favorite word is expeditiously.
Hi, my name is Brendan Groggle. I'm a success coach here at Kalamazoo Central, and what I love most about my job is just the amazing relationships and experiences I get to have with my students. They make my job just a pleasure to have, and I am so thankful for all they teach me on a regular basis.
Alea, so we've been working together since like the beginning of your sophomore year. What have you found the most helpful or most valuable from your experience working with CIS?
The meetings, because it feels like you're actually with you still instead of over the computer. It's nice to know that someone is still checking up on me, even if I think no one should be, but like you're part of the school. You're not supposed to do that. You're going above and beyond. I would describe CIS as encouraging, reliable, and heartwarming.
Good. I'm glad you feel that way. What are you most proud of in terms of yourself? Which is a lot of things that you should be proud of.
I'm very proud of myself. But really, I'm proud of all the accomplishments I made before I got to my senior year, which includes my grades, the support, the money that I have for college, everything in general.
And like how well you probably managed all the things that you do, right?
Yeah, because you guys are giving me all of my recommendation letters, right?
I will be writing just a glowing recommendation letter.
We love to hear it.
What are you most passionate about?
I'm passionate about kids and sometimes school, depending on which day it is. These kids are really more, they're the next generation, as everyone says. So, like, for me to help somebody out, that's going to be the next generation. They need all hands on.
And you want to make sure that you can make an impact on
Yeah.
those kids. Good. What has the experience been like in terms of doing like the long distance education plan that we've been working on for the last, I guess, almost over a year now?
It's been hectic. Sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I think I shouldn't go to class. But you and Miss Minor make sure I go to class every day, even if I don't.
In using these like difficult times and navigating through all these difficult times, what would you say you learned most about yourself?
Patience. I have no patience, never had any patience, didn't want patience. But this year made me have patience, and that's good.
Do you have plans for after graduation?
My only plans really is just to go to college, start up my journey of adulthood.
Okay. What kind of school do you want to go to?
Any HBCU that would take me. Probably all of them, you know.
That is probably true. Any of those schools be lucky to have you.
I hope so, because I will flip it upside down on purpose.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Would you like to interview Mr. Brendan?
Can I?
I can.
I sure will.
Come this way. Mr. Brendan, you go that way.
Uh-oh.
You're a little tall. So, Mr. G, what is your favorite memory of me?
My favorite memory of working with Alea, I think one of the big things I've enjoyed about working with Alea is just how hardworking she is. She's one of the kindest, strongest young women we've had a chance to work with, and she's just an amazing student. She's an amazing young lady who's going to do a lot of amazing things, and so we're all super proud of her. She makes a conscious effort to constantly connect with us. She touches base with us even when she doesn't have to, just to kind of, stay in touch. And I think we really enjoy being able to work with her just as much as hopefully she enjoys being able to talk to us occasionally.
Don't make me blush.
Wasn't it great? Wasn't it great to hear from Alea? She was such a bundle of joy. I already have a big smile myself, but she just kind of made it a little bit bigger. This has certainly been a unique year. And I want to thank this year's sponsors whose ongoing support has made our celebration and the important work that we do possible year after year. Our presenting sponsor, CalSec, champion sponsors, Abraxas Worldwide, Chase, Fifth Third Bank, Landscape Forms, Maestro, PNC, and Zoetis. Award and other sponsors, Humphrey Products, Lake Michigan Credit Union, Miller Davis Company, Miller Johnson Attorneys, and Schupan. Cap and Gown sponsors, Ascension Borges Hospital, Bronson Healthcare, Consumers Credit Union, CSM Group, Kaiser, LKF Marketing, Radisson Plaza Hotel, Sealy Automotive, Tower Pinkster, Unifab Corporation, and Western Michigan University's Office of Diversity Inclusion and College of Education and Human Development. Honor Roll sponsors, Consumers Energy, Mercantile Bank of Michigan, TraStar, and Welsh & Associates. To all of our generous sponsors, thank you for investing in our kids to create this celebratory moment we call Champs. And now, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce Dr. Scott Nikeza, CEO of CalSec, tonight's presenting sponsor.
Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Nikeza, and I know we're presenting today virtually, and I know all of us would really like to be here in person, and maybe our greatest hope is that next year we can meet in person together. We've all suffered through a lot of the impact of COVID-19 and the ravages of the virus upon the community for the last 14 months. And I know a lot of us have shared in the same disappointment and frustrations and isolation and loss. And then some of us have had also unique situations that we've all suffered through. I have myself a unique situation that once a month I have to answer this question that I get asked from time to time. And it starts out, with somebody coming up to me and they'll say, "Scott, you've lived through the Spanish flu and COVID-19. Can you tell me which one is worse?" Okay, so really, I say, Spanish flu, 1918, COVID-19, 2019, that would make me 101. To really realize what happened then, I'd probably have to be over 110. And so I explained to them that, no, I haven't lived through both. And I know because we're virtual, a lot of this looks like it's gray, but there's a lot of black in here, so I'm not really that old. I'm probably 15 or 20 years away from even being old enough to run for president from the last 2 elections. So I don't know what it's like for both, but I know how terrible it was for COVID-19. But I can tell you one big difference is that with COVID-19, there's a vaccine. And on our campus, we encourage everyone to get the vaccine. And it is the one thing that you can do to help protect yourself, your friends, your family, and people in the community. So I know some of you are not able to do that for various reasons that are very legitimate, but if you can and you're on the fence, I just encourage you to get the vaccine. So I'm happy to be here today and proud to be part of this celebration as CalSec's CEO. And I'm also proud to represent CalSec in making some remarks on behalf of the company as a presenting sponsor for this year's Champ Celebration. I'm also honored and proud to be working as a member of the board for communities in school. And I want to start by saying that I really have 2 questions that I'm going to try to answer in my brief remarks. And so one of them is, how did I get here and why am I here? So I'll tell you, how did I get here? So I'll begin by saying at CalSec, I am not the smartest person or the brightest person, which bodes well for the future of the company. Yet I achieved most of the success in my life and career for one simple reason, and that is I had the opportunity to get an education. And at times in my life, I might have thought I achieved all of my accomplishments because I worked harder than others or because I applied myself more than others. And I had another group of personal rationalizations that had a lot to do with me, but very little to do with the one real reason. I had an opportunity to get an education. And that one single item changed the trajectory of my entire life. And on a personal note, I'll tell you that my parents never had a college education. I was the first to go to college in my family. My older brother and my twin sister never went to college. And I can tell you they worked harder their entire life than I did. I got to college because I had a significant teacher or mentor along the way who helped me realize the full potential I could have by having an education. Those teachers sometimes ignited a spark in me, sometimes they added fuel to a burning fire, and I had the great fortune early on to have in high school a science teacher who helped me develop a curiosity about science. I had a college coach when I went to the University of Arkansas on the track team who also believed in me and helped me to learn to focus and persevere and to overcome obstacles. And I had an advisor while working on my PhD in genetics who stimulated me to learn as much as I could about genetics. I've also come to learn and realize that there are a lot of lessons that have become available to me and how difficult and how hard it is to graduate in high school for some students. And I learned this through my work at CIS on the board. And I also saw these same challenges when my daughter taught in a program similar to Teach for America. The graduation rate in the school that she taught in Baltimore, when she was teaching there, was below 50%. And that was not so terribly long ago. If you fail to achieve a high school education in this country, You will work harder than I ever have and that most other people will who have that education. And it will be impossible or nearly unattainable for you to live life to the fullest potential. High school graduation is one of the first and most important milestones in a young person's life. And unfortunately, not everyone makes it to that monumental day. I'll cite to you a quote from Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "The true meaning of any society can be found in how it treats the most vulnerable members." I want to express my gratitude and that of CalSec's sincere gratitude to the CIS organization, staff, volunteers, and dedicated employees who can proudly say they come to work every day to help our children and our community and in society. That's how I got here. I had the opportunity to get an education from help from others. Now, why am I here? At CalSec, we're on a continuous journey of growing responsibly. Last year, we became a benefit corporation, a B Corp, which also emphasizes not just profits, but what you do in your communities you work in and what you do for the planet. We believe that we must change, we must be the change we seek in the world. To do this though, we must first recognize that we are dependent upon each other and therefore responsible for each other and future generations. Living during this unprecedented time only heightens our awareness that what we do or what we choose not to do impacts others. We are profoundly intertwined. The understanding of interdependence is built on the DNA of communities and schools model. By coordinating and leveraging the resources, relationships, and the kindness of our community, CIS allows us to wrap our arms around students with the support they need to succeed. This kind of collective action brings to mind the African proverb, "If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." We all know we have far to go when it comes to assuring that all students, regardless of race, gender, zip code, or social economic backgrounds, have what they need to realize their potential in school and beyond. And no organization is better positioned than CIS to help us do that. CalSec shares CIS's values of equity, education, and community. One of the ways we put these values into action is by working with CIS to invest in kids. CIS helps level the playing field so that every student is positioned for success. In joining forces with CIS, we become part of the solution, empowering and equipping students to take on and tear down the barriers that stand between them and an equitable path to education. On behalf of all of us at CalSec, we congratulate this year's champs. Thank you, champs, for being the change we seek in the world. Congratulations.
Thank you for those remarks, Scott. Before I move forward in the program, I'm going to go off script a little bit, so don't get mad, marketing team and team. It's kind of like at church, you know, somebody else is preaching, but something came to mind when they were talking. So one of the things what Scott talked about was recognizing the importance of opportunity. And we know that there's a lot of statistics out there related to the challenges that our children and our family face. But one of the things that comes to mind for me is, and when you think about those statistics, it's kind of like getting ready to fight a giant. But when you're getting ready to fight a giant, there's two different mindsets that you can have going into that situation. One is you can focus on the size of the giant, or you can focus on the fight that you have and your ability as a soldier, as a warrior, to engage in the battle. A person that focuses on the giant will ultimately end up magnifying the giant of such to where the giant is actually bigger than what he or she is. But a person who focuses on what they have on the inside has the capacity to then magnify themselves and those on their team. So one of the things that's exciting to me about the champs tonight is that despite the giants, despite the statistics, they recognize that they have something within them that has the potential and the capacity to make a difference in the lives of children. And not only that, they recognize that the children that they're working with have a capacity and potential that's much larger than what the statistics say. And in CIS, that's the work that we're doing. We're not afraid of graduation rates. We're not afraid of statistics. We're not afraid of poverty and all of those different metrics, because we know that if we come together as a community, if we recognize the potential of our students and we do what we can do with what we have, that we have an opportunity to win the fight. And I think, again, as we go on forth in tonight, I'm very grateful for our champs tonight, our honorees, because these are folks who said, you know what, despite the odds, despite the statistics, I'm going to do my part, and my part will make a difference. And as we go forth tonight, you'll see folks that did their part, weren't afraid of the giant, and made a difference in their children's lives. So our first champ award is sponsored by Abraxas Worldwide and is being presented to Kathy Hogue. In 2017, when Kathy retired from 40 years as a social worker, her family, knowing her passion for kids, made a bet that she couldn't keep away from helping them. Fortunately for us, Kathy lost that bet. 2 weeks after she and her husband moved to Kalamazoo, she started volunteering with communities and schools, highly dedicated to students at Woodward School for the Technology and Research. Kathy wanted to deepen her skill set. So she went through specialized training that SLD Reed offered to our CIS volunteers. As an SLD Reed tutor, she's been able to provide individualized, one-on-one, multi-sensory instruction in reading, writing, and spelling. Over the years, she has continued to provide outstanding support to students that CIS Site Coordinator Jen DeWell sent her way and follows them from grade to grade. When schools physically closed 14 months ago, Kathy immediately connected with Jen to see how she could continue tutoring and supporting students virtually. She made a seemingly effortless transition to online tutoring. Her students were so relieved to see her familiar face in such an uncertain time. Kathy, keenly aware of their need for a sense of normalcy, put extra care into providing rich experience for her students, creating weekly packages which Jen delivered to them, full of educational materials and a few special surprises. These bag of tricks, as she calls them, are individualized for each student. This fall, after being asked to take on more students, Kathy dove in virtually with 2 more students she had never met. With her gift of making students comfortable, in no time, they were warming up to Kathy and getting to work. They look forward to the 2 weekly sessions they have with her. Jen says this about Kathy: she has an intuitive way of knowing exactly what each student needs and meets them where they are each day. It's a joy to see the smiles of students as they log on to see their favorite volunteer, someone who believes in them steadfastly, encourages them continuously, and keeps them on track lovingly. She reveals to them their best selves every day. Kathy, it's hard for me to convey just how much you mean to your students, so we have a message that Aurora, Shondell, and Zoe would like to share with you.
This is Aurora. I'm in 4th grade, and I've been working with Miss Kathy since, I think, 2nd grade.
Zoe, and I'm in 3rd grade.
Shondell McBride.
She lets us know what she's going to do first, and she asks us if we want to do a little bit more after we're done doing what we're gonna do.
Me and Miss Kathy have worked for a long time, and I like her because she always makes everything feel fun, and she's the best tutor I ever had.
This auto work I done. When she gets stuck on something, she kind of has fun, like telling a little bit of jokes and stuff.
And I do math with her, and I do reading and special assignment now words. Yeah.
Because maybe when I grow up, I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a reader. Like, I want to teach kids how to make art, and I might want to travel the world and study stuff.
Thank you, Miss Kathy, for teaching me.
Thank you, Miss Kathy, for making reading fun.
Me, that Miss Kathy is the best, and I love her because of that. And I thank her every day because she's the best.
Miss Kathy, thank you for empowering kids and helping them to realize their full potential. That was awesome. Yes, awesome impact, awesome work. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Our next Champ Award is sponsored by Chase and is presented to the Kalamazoo Public Schools Information and Technology Team. Accepting the award on behalf of their team are Nathan McLaughlin and Craig Campbell. CIS has always depended on the kindness and expertise of the KPS Information and Technology Team. Working hard behind the scenes, they have provided us steadfast support for the devices and data systems that we use to support our kids. Last March, when school physically shut down and KPS, much like most of the rest of the country, went virtual, and we all leaned on them more than ever. Nathan is the director of technology for the district. He said that when the pandemic hit and students had to suddenly shift to virtual learning, his team of 13 had to do a lot and do it quickly, and that they did. Working with a number of school and community stakeholders, they began tackling the digital access gap, and now 909 hotspots have been distributed to 867 families. In addition, over 11,000 Chromebooks were loaned out, and more than 1,200 were donated to students. CIS staff said the relief and gratitude they felt by the students and families, or the students and families felt, has been profound. We all know what it feels like when our computer crashes. So imagine as a child the feeling you have when the technology that you depend on and for learning is not available. Team member and help desk specialist Craig relays the story of a time when the team received a handwritten apology letter from an elementary student. In it, she expresses sorrow for breaking her Chromebook and explains how it broke. She enclosed $3 in the envelope, no doubt to help pay for the repairs. Thanks to the tireless effort and agile thinking of the IT team and the numerous new systems and technologies they have spearheaded, we have been able to support our kids and achieve our program goals in the midst of a pandemic. The 1,358 students receiving one-on-one CIS support and the 610 students enrolled in our after-school programs receiving academic and social and emotional learning depend on the technology to bring forth familiar and caring faces of their teachers, CIS site and after-school coordinators, success coaches, youth development coaches, tutors, mentors, and others. In this era of isolation, when our kids have missed us and we have missed them, This small but mighty team reminds us that we're all in this together, and we're connected and we belong to each other. KPS Information and Technology Team, thank you for empowering kids to realize their potential in school and beyond. Don't worry, their video is coming later too. All right, so in addition to the KPS, well, one thing I'll just say is, so the next honoree is also connected to KPS, but one of the things that we hope people understand is that both groups served and supported CIS prior to the pandemic. But when the shift took place, there was so much more that they were called upon to do that we felt as an organization that it was more than appropriate to honor them on tonight. The things that they have done over the past 15 months have been above and beyond anybody's expectation. They've exceeded goals, they've exceeded expectations, and because of that, our kids are the better. And for that, we just want you to know how much we appreciate it. So our next Champ Award goes to the School and Food Services team. This award is sponsored by Humphrey Products and Lake Michigan Credit Union and will be accepted by Christina Holler on behalf of the team. We have always known that food services is an essential part of our work at communities and schools of Kalamazoo. Not only does this team plan, prepare, and provide nutritious breakfasts and lunches for all KPS students, but for the past 2 decades, they have worked with CIS after-school staff to provide snacks and evening meals for our event and for our after-school program and for our events. As one of our after-school coordinators, Catherine Williamson, says, they have always been a truly positive part of caring for our students, both in service and in attitude. 14 months ago, while most of us were sheltering in place, despite all the unknowns, this team stepped out into the quiet world to continue their vital role in feeding and caring for our children. Throughout the nation, school-aged children receive 58% of their nutrition through the school and breakfast programs. Whether children come from food insecure homes or not, we have all depended on them to nourish our children. Christina, who oversees the team in her role as residential district manager, says that it has taken everyone working together to accomplish this feat of providing school meals in the midst of the pandemic. Thanks to her leadership, her team's dedication and innovation, along with their collaborative mindset to work with us and a host of others, including the bus drivers, KPS has been continually providing these grab-and-go meals since last March when schools closed. During a time when child hunger has increased in greater numbers than we've seen in decades, more kids than ever worry about when and where their next meal will come from. Hunger, by its very nature, takes bites out of academic success and impacts students' learning by making it harder to focus, pay attention to teachers, and to regulate behavior. Essential workers, the food service team became everyday heroes for our entire community by literally putting food on the table for kids. Christina says her team loves the students, and that's why they do what they do. Working in a school district is very rewarding, she says, and you hope that you can make a difference in someone's life. Well, Christina, to you and your entire team, let us take one worry off your plate by telling you that you indeed make a difference every day. Thank you for nourishing our children before, during, and no doubt after this pandemic is over. School Food Services team, thank you for empowering kids to realize their full potential in school and beyond. Last month, To thank each individual team member on both the technology team and the food services team, our staff made a special visit to their various sites to express our gratitude personally and individually and to provide them a sweet treat. A few of our team members would like to join us through video with a brief message to both of your amazing teams.
Hi, I'm Jody Sikkema, Daytime Site Coordinator at Hillside Middle School.
And I'm Catherine Williamson, the After School Coordinator at Hillside Middle School. We're here to thank the Hillside food service staff and the food service staff across the district for everything that they have done to feed our students during the pandemic.
We also would like to thank the bus drivers and support staff who have supported the cafeteria workers to help make sure that our kids have been fed during the pandemic. Thank you very much, CHAMPS recipients. We appreciate you.
Good afternoon, KPS Technology team. We would like to take this time to thank you for an amazing job that you've done this year, keeping staff, family, students, and teachers connected throughout the school year. I know for me personally, I call upon you many, many times. So we just really want to thank you and take this time to acknowledge that you are the champs. Thank you.
Hello, KPS Technology Department. Thank you so much for all of the hard work that you've done this year. Because of your efforts, you were able to get people connected virtually for our virtual school year. So we just want to thank you for your patience, your kindness, and your undeniable intelligence in technology. So congratulations on this award, and you are the real champ.
Thanks again. Our last champ award for this evening is presented to Dr. Jim Zhu and kindly sponsored by Miller Davis Company and Shupan. A child's success in school and life often hinges on the opportunity to have a one-on-one relationship with a caring adult. This is one of the CIS 5 basics, something that every child needs and deserves. This relationship can make the difference between a student staying in school or becoming one of the 7,000 students dropping out of school each day nationwide. For the past 4 years, Dr. Jim Zhu has been that caring adult for a number of students at Millwood Magnet Middle School. As a professor of mathematics at Western Michigan University, Dr. Zhu noticed that some of his incoming students didn't have the basic math skills they needed to be successful in college. He decided to be a part of the solution and reach out to students before they arrived in his classroom. So for the past 4 years, this CIS volunteer has faithfully supported students in their math efforts. The students have looked toward Dr. Zhu's weekly visits to the lunchtime homework lab. Site coordinator Missy Best initiated this drop-in for academic support based on feedback from teachers, parents, and students. One student who dropped in to get help from Dr. Jim said, "He makes it easy to understand stuff. I'm coming back." And he did, again and again. Once schools went online, Dr. Zhu continued working with CIS staff to provide seamless support to students. In the beginning, he provided math support in a virtual group setting. He's now providing one-on-one tutoring, and students are responding positively. Seeing his familiar face buoys their spirits. They work on math together, and sometimes students steer the conversations away from numbers and just want to talk. After CIS site coordinator Shannon Jones says that Dr. Zhu's presence is as helpful as his math knowledge. He demonstrates patience and compassion and exemplifies the growth mindset we want to promote in our students. Students he has helped along the way will tell you that his mantra is practice, 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 and don't ever give up. Good lessons for math, but also great lessons for life. Dr. Zhu, but instead of me telling you this, let's hear from a few of your students instead.
I'm Shannon Jones, the after-school coordinator at Millwood Magnet.
Missy Best, site coordinator, Millwood Magnet.
We just want to say thank you so much to Jim Zhu, who comes and helps us out and is our 2020-2021 Champs volunteer.
Jim, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much for your dedication.
Your kindness, your patience, and your skill really helps all of our students here.
We love you.
Hi, Dr. Zhu, Anna Northam here. I just wanted to say congratulations on your Champs Volunteer Award. I know many students who have benefited working with you over the past couple years, and I just wanted to personally say thank you for putting in the time and the effort to help educate our students. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Zhu. I'm Samira Mohammed, and I just wanted to thank you so much for helping us and supporting us and telling us that math is not hard and it's fun and it's not scary. I just wanted to thank you so much for all your help and support, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful break, and I hope you come back next year and help more kids just like me who are afraid of math. And I just wanted to thank you, and I go to Millwood Magnet Middle School. That's all I wanted to say.
Congratulations, Dr. Zhu. We here at Millwood Magnet are very, very proud of the work that you do here with our students, helping them to recognize that math is fun and it's doable. And so we thank you and we congratulate you on this award that you received. It was definitely something that you deserved. So thank you again for all the hard work.
Thank you, Dr. Zhu, for helping us in the tutor lab, being supportive, and helping all the other kids.
Dr. Zhu, thank you for supporting kids to reach their full potential in school and in life. As a new element to this year's program, we are excited to introduce you to a few CIS staff members who have been selected by our site leadership team to receive an inaugural staff honorable mention, sponsored by Zoetis. This year's recipients are being recognized for their exceptional collaborative work during an unusual year of remote service. Our in-school supports leadership team has made a brief video to share.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tamiko Garrett, and I'm the Senior Director of Site Services for Communities and Schools of Kalamazoo. This has definitely been a year of adjustments and flexibility. Even though I'm proud of the way that all of my site staff have continued to provide resources and services to the students and families within the Kalamazoo Public School District, there are a select group of staff members that the Site Services leadership team would like to acknowledge due to their spirit of teamwork and innovation.
We are thrilled to celebrate 3 outstanding site coordinators this year for their top-notch work at their own sites, as well as the capacity to support the needs of transitions across other sites. Carly Thompson, site coordinator at Prairie Ridge Elementary, who supported the staff transition at El Sol. Carly has been with CIS since fall of 2019 and has worked hard to integrate CIS into Prairie Ridge, building strong relationships with families and staff along the way. When Carly heard that El Sol needed some extra support, she did not hesitate to offer and brush off her skills to give our Spanish-speaking families someone to connect with. Thank you, Carly, for making sure that all our CIS students and families' needs are met.
For Sam Darby, starting out as a social work intern in the 17-18 school year, Sam has now been a site coordinator with CIS since 2019. In that short time, she has made a huge impact at Millwood Elementary, running virtual Fun Fridays, social groups for students to get to spend time with one another outside of the classroom, coordinating tutoring, food deliveries, and mental health services, all while helping to support communities and schools families at Lincoln, El Sol, Arcadia, and Prairie Ridge. Thank you, Sam, for all your hard work this school year.
And for Dana Flynn, site coordinator at Northeastern Elementary, who supported staff transitions at El Sol, Lincoln, Arcadia, and Prairie Ridge this school year. Dana has been with CIS as a staff since 2018, starting initially as an intern even before that in the 17-18 school year at Parkwood Elementary. Her commitment to learn, to grow, to be challenged, and invest in students and families is such a gift. We are so grateful for Dana's willingness to step up, to collaborate, and to serve. Thank you, Dana, for your commitment to all of our CIS families and students.
We would also love to celebrate 4 outstanding after-school coordinators who showed exemplary teamwork, commitment, and engagement, even in the midst of a very hard year of virtual learning. For Phil Hegwood, after-school coordinator who has been with CIS for almost 7 years, serving families along the way at Woodward Elementary and now Maple Street Middle School. Through his love for cooking, relationship-focused approach, and positive can-do attitude, he has been able to do what feels like the impossible this school year.
For Shannon Jones, after-school coordinator at Millwood Middle School, who has been with CIS for just about 4 years. She uses her love of science, special Saturday Dungeon and Dragon Days, and body movement to keep her students coming back for after-school program.
And for Catherine Williamson, after-school coordinator at Hillside Middle School, who has been with CIS for just shy of 7 years. A former English teacher, Catherine brings her love of literature and language to the after-school program, but not just the English language. Most recently, Catherine has been running a club where students are learning American Sign Language.
For Jane Asumadu, after-school coordinator at Linden Grove Middle School, who has been with CIS since 2019. Jane brings her past experiences teaching in Japan to life through exciting lesson plans that bring whatever she is teaching off the screen. Whether it be film, social emotional learning, or college prep, Jane animates any Google Meet with not only her lessons, but her ability to connect with students by being herself. Together, our middle school after-school program boasts a total of 124 students. Thank you, middle school after-school coordinators, for engaging our students and giving them a place to learn and grow after school.
Congratulations. Congratulations again to the team members highlighted tonight, but really to all of our hardworking CIS staff. I'm proud to serve our community alongside you to empower today's youth and tomorrow's future. As I close my portion and get ready to transfer over to Namita Sharma, our board president, I wanted to invite you to support students in our community. We've heard so much tonight about the different ways community members are champions for kids. Please consider for a moment, who are the champions in your life, or who were the champions in your life? Who were the people that helped you slay the giants in your life, the ones that helped you become who you are today? We ask you to honor one of your champions today with a gift made in their name. You can text the code CHAMPS to 44321 or visit our website at ciskalamazoo.org/champs. There you can select the option to make a donation in their honor. We will then alert them that you have honored them with your generosity. Thank you for considering donating in honor of a champion. At this time, I am going to leave the stage, and Namita Sharma will be the next person you hear.
Good evening. I am Namita Sharma, and it is my privilege to serve as the board president for Communities and Schools of Kalamazoo, along with my outstanding fellow board members. As a proud parent of 2 KPS graduates, my sons both attended Arcadia Elementary, which gave me the deep pleasure of knowing Gulnar Hussain when she served first as an AmeriCorps worker and then as Arcadia's CIS site coordinator. And for more than 38 years, Gulnar has dedicated her life to volunteer work throughout our community. So it is my honor to present this year's Gulnar Hussain Volunteer Award. This award recognizes a CIS volunteer who emulates Gulnar's desire to serve children with consistent and unflinching passion. This year's award winner is Pam Dalitz. Pam is a registered nurse who retired from Bronson and became a CIS volunteer at the encouragement of one of our 2016 Champs Award winners, Honoré Salon. Since then, Pam has been supporting students at Spring Valley Center for Exploration, or as Pam calls it, her second home. Here she tutors and provides classroom support, working closely with second grade teacher, Ms. China Campbell. Pam also serves on the CIS Volunteer Leadership Advisory Council, and she's helping to advise CIS on volunteer recruitment and retainment. CIS Site Coordinator Martha Serio says this of Pam, quote, outgoing and personable, Pam has developed strong relationships with many Spring Valley staff and students. She is truly a part of our Spring Valley family. This trait is what draws the students to her and has helped them to be focused and on task during their tutoring sessions. No small feat. When the pandemic hit and schools physically closed last March, her volunteer work, like so much else, changed dramatically. Missing her Spring Valley family, Pam connected with Martha to figure out how she could support students in this brave new world we all found ourselves in. After learning where the most pressing needs were for Spring Valley students and their families, Pam's volunteer work evolved to become a courier of sorts. Every Tuesday and Thursday, while masked and maintaining a safe distance, she began delivering grab-and-go meals to families who couldn't make the food drops at the schools. Working closely with CIS, Pam lifts up the generosity of this community. Whether she's dropping off technology equipment, or paperwork, school supplies, basic needs, she is, on behalf of all of us, sending a powerful message to our kids. We are here for you. We haven't forgotten you. We love you. In addition to her volunteer work with CIS and the Sierra Club, when Kalamazoo County Public Health and Emergency Management officials put out the urgent request for volunteers to assist with mass vaccinations, Pam heeded their call. As a skilled medical professional, she is lending her expertise and her help with the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines in our community. Martha Serio can't help but see Gulnar in Pam. This is what she says. Pam embodies the characteristics I loved about Gulnar. She is giving, empathetic, selfless. Pam Dalitz, thank you for empowering kids to realize their full potential in school and beyond. Pam, because we know you love nature and the outdoors, you are receiving a stained glass picture of a tree. Earlier tonight, we were introduced to Alea, a junior from Kalamazoo Central High School. It is my pleasure now to introduce you to Jaquay Cole, a senior from Loy Norix High School with big plans after graduation. Like our interview with Alea, we filmed this video last month outside his high school for obvious social distancing reasons. We sat down with Jaquay, CIS coordinator Mr. Montrell Baker, and a special guest from our Student Spotlight sponsor, PNC. Let's roll the tape, but before we roll the tape, please note that it was a little windy on that day of the recording, so to preserve the authenticity, we decided to continue to roll this despite the difficulties in hearing, so that we could not have it as a staged retake, but we wanted to see you to see the conversation live.
Yes, I'm Montrell Baker, Senior Site Coordinator here at Loy Norris High School. It's my 6th school year. born and raised in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Also went through KPS from preschool up through the 12th grade. Graduated from Lloyd Norris High School. Just happy to be back working in
I'm Jaquay Cole. I'm a senior at Lloyd Norris High School. I was born and raised in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I attended Woodward Elementary, Millwood Middle, and now Lloyd Norris High School. I originally found CIS in middle school when I was struggling with a few classes, and I found out it was a good program, so I've just been attending it ever since 7th grade.
I would say Jaquay is very well-mannered, responsible young man. Is very supportive to his fellow students. Probably one of the students that I do not have to track down. You know, he stops by the office at least once a day to check in with me. But yeah, overall, he's a great student.
Hi, I'm Consuelo Shank. I'm the Client and Community Relations Assistant Director at PNC Bank. And we are just honored to sponsor Chance and Jaquay, and we have this special gift that we want to present. So if we could do that now, I'd love to hand this over to you, so congratulations. And we are so proud of you for graduating. I graduated from Lennox actually too, so 1998, a long time ago. But you know what? The future is yours. So I want you to just make the best of it, all right? And make good choices. And your hard work has gotten you to this point so far. So yeah, really proud of you.
It's Chromebook.
It's all yours.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
So thank you. I'm starting college in the fall. I'm going to be attending Southwestern Michigan College. And I'm studying to become a pediatrician. And this will come in handy because I can do all my schoolwork and keep up with everything that I need to do to be successful in college.
Good. So enjoy it. And I want to hear about it too. I would love a follow-up. I'd love to hear how your day goes. Okay? No, I'm available, seriously. You've got a lot of people supporting you as it is, but you've got one more.
I'll miss Jaquay. I said before, he's one of the students that I really didn't have to track down, maybe early on in his high school career. I would say like towards the end of his 10th grade, 11th grade year, he was more so coming in every day. You know, he has his smart little remarks. So we always would have a good laugh, enjoy some snacks. But I just always look forward to him stopping by. So, don't miss that. Oh yeah, I forgot the hair. The hair is like the first thing I noticed. You know, he usually has like a mohawk, high top fade. It's blue now. I think it was red. Might have been pink at one point. He has designs on the side. So I'm always looking forward to see what he has next in his head. Yes, I am now.
Well, my 10th grade, 9th grade years, even 11th to 12th, mostly 12th grade, 11th grade years, so that's when you really crack down on to get myself together and show you that I can do good in school and be able to get the help that I need with all the mentors you gave me. The time you let me spend in the office doing my homework instead of being in college. It helped me grow as a person.
Once again, it's always great to hear from our students. It's one of my favorite things as a board member. Thank you, Jaquay. I think Southwest Michigan University is going to be glad to have you. And we want to thank Miller Johnson attorneys who have generously sponsored our video and technology, allowing us to bring the young people to you today. Now, for our next award. This year's Dieter Hennecke Promise of Excellence Award is sponsored by Landscape Forms. A former CIS board member, Dieter cherished teaching and learning at all levels and wanted all young people to have the gift of education and the joy of lifelong curiosity and learning. This year's Promise of Excellence Award goes to the late Dorothy P. Young. If anyone ever needs to be reminded of how truly amazing and valued Mrs. Young and her contributions are to the Kalamazoo community, they need only ask their neighbor or simply stop by Hillside Middle School, where the cafeteria and a street behind the school was named in her honor. Mrs. Dorothy P. Young spent her entire career educating students, empowering families, and developing teachers. Employed by Kalamazoo Public Schools for 37 years, with most of those served as principal of Hillside Middle School, her impact spans across generations. In addition to her nearly 4 decades serving as an educator, consultant, and administrator for KPS, Mrs. Young also served extensively throughout the community, ensuring that many students, especially students of color and students living in economically disadvantaged neighborhoods, had access to the resources to help them succeed academically. She maintained her community work throughout her retirement. This is a common theme for retirees, it seems, tonight. Serving on the board of the Northside Association for Educational Advancement, Community Advocates for Parents and Students, CAPS, Mothers of Hope, Push for Learning, Pretty Lake Adventure, Camp Board, Douglas Community Association Board of Directors, Dwayne Young Scholarship, and lifetime membership with the NAACP. Mrs. Young was and shall always be remembered as a pillar of quality education for all students. Her commitment to empowering families around the educational outcomes of their students and working alongside community to improve those results lives on in the many educators, school administrators, youth-serving professionals, and community members that she impacted. While we could provide thousands of testimonies from those whose lives she has touched, here are just 2. Because of Mrs. Young's commitment and investment in African American youth's future, when our very own CIS Senior Director of Community Engagement and Student Investment, Artrella Cohn, was in high school, she received a scholarship, one that Mrs. Young made possible through her work with the Northside Association for Educational Advancement, the NAEA. This helped to jumpstart Artrella's post-secondary educational career and journey. And now, years later, Artrella follows in her mentor's footsteps, supporting this current generation of Kalamazoo's young people through her work with CIS and by serving on 2 of the very boards that Mrs. Young also provided leadership for, the NAEA and CAPS. Artrella says that all due to the amazing relationship that I had with my mentor, Mrs. Dorothy P. Young. Those of you who had the pleasure of knowing Mrs. Young knew that she especially cherished her time as principal of Hillside Middle School. Mr. Atiba McKissick, the current principal of Hillside, inspired by her leadership, continues the good work of educating our students. He says this about Mrs. Young. Mrs. Young instilled passion for youth. She modeled altruism in her words, action, and purpose. Thanks to the seeds Mrs. Young planted in the hearts and minds of countless individuals, her passionate spirit lives on and continues to nurture this community. Because her good work lives on in others, she continues helping kids stay in school and succeed in life. And for that, we are grateful. To commemorate Mrs. Young, we will soon be releasing a piece of artwork from Nikki Lee, a local artist and previous student of Dorothy Young. This evening, however, we are honored to have 2 of Mrs. Young's nieces, Taylor Young and Courtney Young, join us to accept her award and to give a few remarks. Please join with me in celebrating the achievements of Mrs. Dorothy P. Young, this year's recipient of the Dieter Hennecke Promise of Excellence Award.
We
We are honored to be here to accept the award on behalf of our grandmother, Dorothy P. Young. Her love for all children was endless. Her actions to help all children never ceased. She truly lived by the words, believe, achieve, succeed. She believed in every child and encouraged them to believe in themselves. Her love and attention helped them to build confidence and made them feel valuable. She actively engaged in the journey and was sincerely interested in their progress as they continued to achieve. She had high expectations for every child because succeeding was the ultimate goal.
As adults, we all can live by this motto: believe, achieve, succeed. Our grandmother lived her entire life helping others, and she was the true definition of promise of excellence. This is what the Dieter Henneke, past president of Western Michigan University, demonstrated. We would like to thank everyone at the Communities and Schools and Landscape Forums for allowing us this opportunity to receive this award. Our grandmother, Dorothy Young, was committed and dedicated to the education of children for 60+ years. We thank you for all your sponsors and support and continued support. Thank you.
Thank you for those beautiful words about your grandmother. So, in closing for tonight's program, I want to say the following. Despite the challenges, or rather because of the challenges of our kids, their families, and that all of us have had to face this year, we've grown together in ways we could never have imagined. We have been reminded that growth and comfort do not coexist, and most importantly, we've been reminded that we belong to each other. We are in this together. Earlier, James mentioned to ready your beverage. Now is the time to toast. I have my Arnold Palmer in hand. Tonight's award recipients remind us that no matter how dire the circumstances may be, we can still rise up and do our part. As Desmond Tutu said, do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. Here is to all of the champions, both here in the room and all over our community, doing your part to overwhelm the world with good. I raise my glass in your honor, and I invite you all to do the same. Cheers. To all you award winners out there and here, thank you for doing your bits so beautifully. We invite all of you, whether you are here with us at the Radisson or joining virtually, to do your bit and help us continue this necessary work. You can text the code CHAMPS to 444-321 to give, or visit our website at ciskalamazoo.org/champs. We hope that you will make a gift in honor of a champion in your life. Or you're welcome to give a gift in honor of one of the champions you met tonight during our program. Your gift will enable CIS to continue showing up for students, providing the support they need to succeed. On behalf of the Communities and Schools of Kalamazoo Board, whom I hope we can see in person one day soon, I miss you all, and from our staff, we thank you for joining us tonight and honoring this year's amazing award recipients. Stay safe, everybody. Have a good night.